What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the TowerNumberNine stream here for Flesh and Blood. This time we are going to be showing a ladder tournament game. This is Season 2 of the ladder. We have Reezy versus Jake. And this is going to be a very interesting game, I feel. We have Dash versus Katsu. So this is an interesting matchup. Depending on what style of Katsu deck this is, this could be a very favorable or very unfavorable match. Typically, Katsu aggro can be difficult for Dash, but a Katsu control deck is going to be smooth sailing for her. So we have Reezy here playing Dash, and he is playing versus Jake's Katsu. Starts off with a pistol shot, uses... so he's going to be pitching stuff unnecessarily to, so basically what he just did is he fired one shot and then he pitched two cards to trigger the second action on pistol. This is a more advanced move. You can actually pitch to pay that cost. If there are no steam counters on it, put a steam counter on it, go again. If you have a counter on it, you can still use that ability. It's just wasted, and you can use this to pitch cards that you don't want by spending your energy. So a little bit of a more advanced play there from Reezy. He then takes two Kadachi hits and a rising knee thrust for 3 with no combo, blocked by a zipper hit, and that's going to be the turn. So not the most aggressive turn there from Jake. He did, however, manage to set a red plunder run in his arsenal. I'm just telling the players not to watch the stream. Probably they know that, but let's just make sure. All right. With that little FYI, we are going to get back to the commentary here. Okay, so this should be an interesting situation. We're going to see Dash fires a pistol shot, loads up her items, and then plays another induction chamber. So this is a core interaction for Dash. The induction chamber here is going to allow that pistol to go again by putting a steam counter on it and then removing it later. And this method can be used, you can potentially have 3 of these and fire 4 shots with the pistol in a turn by giving 3 of them go again. So if Dash can get these items set up, it's very dangerous. Ooh, but we see here Jake has a strong hand. He leads off with a Plunder Run. Next time an attack action card you control hits this turn, draw a card. If Plunder Run is played from Arsenal, the next attack action card you play this turn gets +3. And he then does 2 Kadachi, each hit for 1. Ooh, and then he's going to do a E-Strike 5 go again, but it gets the buff from Plunder Run, so it gets +3. And if it hits, draw a card. This is a strength 5 base, but it's up to strength 8 if it hits draw. And he has go again, which is going to potentially allow him to follow it up with that copy of Snatch. This is a pretty difficult situation, I think, in some ways. And in the hand here, we do see that there's 2 defense reactions, though. This could actually be just what Reezy wants. Oh, it looks like he's going to go for blocking for 4, and then he's going to trigger probably one of the defense reactions. Oh, wow, and he has another defense reaction in Arsenal. He's actually going to be able to avoid getting hit by this Plunder Run. A Snatch then comes in for 4, and if that hits, it will actually draw 2, but he's going to be able to defend that. He's going to be able to defend that without even using his equipment because he has another defense reaction. He has what it takes to stop this attack. It was fortunate for him that he had those 3 defense reactions available against this onslaught from Jake, but he is able to stop things without conceding that card draw, and on his next turn he'll be able to play his Teklo Core and Arsenal the Stink below. Not bad at all. I definitely feel that Reezy has come off the winner of that interaction. He faced a powerful aggressive turn, but he was able to stop it. Now we're going to see him leading off the turn with a pistol shot. That's interesting. I wonder if he's just going to try to put more pressure on his opponent. Okay, so he's not going to use. He's not going to. Or no, he is going to pitch the Teklo core. That's very surprising to me. I would have thought that he would play it here, but I think he's going to try to keep the pressure on. So he's coming in for a second pistol shot, and then he is going to be able to potentially take a third pistol shot by using that second induction chamber. That's exactly what we see. Second induction chamber, then his floating resource reloads the pistol and fires, coming in for another 2. And he's trying to chip some damage away, and then he can put the sink below in arsenal. Okay, so he won't have the Teklo core, but he'll still have the sink below, and he's managed to push some damage through. And we're gonna see whether or not Jake is gonna throw any defense in on this situation. Interesting play. By the way, shout out to SpinDog5. Thank you for the follow. SpinDog5 followed before this stream, but after the previous stream. I believe the same may be true for Store Brand Keith. I can't remember if I gave you a shout out on the previous stream, Store Brand Keith, but if I did not, shout out now. Okay. So in the meantime here, let's see what's going on. It's going to be Arsenal pass after Jake just takes the damage. Now, often these aggressive decks when playing against Dash, they really do just want to keep taking the damage here. That can be a good tactic. And we're going to see another defense reaction in hand, a springboard somersault. He's gone for a heavy defensive loadout here. The springboard somersault isn't going to be much good in hand, but if he ends up using that sink below this turn, he'll be able to put the springboard into arsenal, get things set up. Coming in with a hurricane technique here, coming in for 4 with combo not enabled, but he will be able to potentially use his tunic to play a razor reflex, go up to 7, and then play the copy of snatch. He could also break his snapdragon scalers for the same effect, but I suspect it's going to be the razor instead that we see here. Unfortunately for him, though, his opponent might have the defense reactions needed to stop it. Let's see what the defense looks like. If Reezy decides not to block against this attack, it's going to leave him open to that razor because he'll only be able to defend 6 with his reactions. He's going to block 3. Okay, so now if now razor comes out, put it up to 7, and if it hits go again, there's the sink. So it's now blocking all 7. He passes on the sink ability. And, okay, so Jake opts not to use his breaking scales. He could have used the breaking scales to try to push 1 damage through to score that effect, but instead he's just going to arsenal that copy of Snatch, save it for another time in the game. Reezy's been doing a good job holding off the defense right now with a plethora of small defense reactions. You know, the classic New Zealand Nationals build from Matt Rogers did not run as many of the small defense reactions. You know, it was more focused on Unmovable, but I think that Unmovable is a weaker card against Ninja some of the time relative to these smaller cards that you can kind of throw in when needed without having to pitch for them. The fact that you have to pitch for Unmovable is a little clunky. So the small defense reactions that we've seen from here from Reezy really do seem to be going pretty well in stopping some of these attacks that are coming in from Jake's Katsu deck. And a barrage of pistol shots continues. Now Jake here has an interesting hand. He could do a forced Magenshi release by using a Snapdragon Scalers on his copy of Whelming Gustwave, but it isn't clear to me that that's best. It might be better to go for the leg line for his combo. He doesn't have good pitch though. He's in an awkward spot. If I were him, I might just take this damage, and I think I would just take this damage, and then I would do pitch Magenshi for the yellow leg tap, and then I don't know. It's a bit of an awkward hand. But he can potentially do the leg combo. Sorry for highlighting the stupid art on Blackout Kick, guys. It's a little gory. But yeah, he can potentially do the leg combo at least part of the way. Yeah, because he could. Yeah, so he can pitch Magenshi, play the yellow leg tap. If the yellow leg tap were to hit, he can then. Yeah, I don't know. He doesn't have a great hand, but I think he wants to pitch Magenshi, yellow leg tap. If it's not blocked, I don't know though. I think it's just going to get blocked. If it were a red leg tap, it would seem a lot better. I think under the circumstances, he may just have to settle for a less crazy turn. Yeah, and that's indeed what we see. He ends up blocking with the Magenshi rather than pitching it. So his most aggressive line would be to pitch the Magenshi, leg tap, yellow leg tap, hope that it hits, and then he can convert the Whelming into a rising knee, and then play his Blackout Kick as well. But that doesn't seem like a particularly likely outcome in this situation. Oh, but you know what he can do? Yeah, he can do this. This is not bad. So he's going to do Kadachi, pitches for the leg taps. The leg tap's coming in for 3 with go again, but it does actually necessitate a block because if it hits, it's going to get that card draw from Mask, and then he follows that up with the copy of Snatch. So this is not as like crazy aggressive as trying to go for the combo, but it's a lot more reliable. Unfortunately for him, the defense reaction is prepared. I think we're going to see that Springboard Somersault from Arsenal probably being played to shut down this copy of I think it's going to be Springboard Somersault from Arsenal being played here to shut down the copy of Snatch without that card draw landing. So normally a red copy of Snatch is a pretty good asset if you're trying to play aggressively, because if it hits, you draw a card. And that can really kind of refill your hand in the right situation. Or refill your arsenal, more like it. But in this situation, it isn't going to be able to do that. So we'll see. Or it probably won't be. I mean, it's possible that he just won't spend a defense reaction on it. But given that he has 2 defense reactions that block for 4, I'd be very surprised if that card lands to get the card draw for Jake. I gotta say, Reezy's been doing very well at staving off the aggression here. You know, some people do think that Dash is weak to aggro Ninja, but it does seem that he perhaps has the tools that he needs. Let's see how many defense reactions. Yeah, there goes the springboard. Yeah, so he's already played. That's going to be his 4th small defense reaction that can block 4, and he has another one in hand. So we know he's running at least 5, and that is, I believe, a departure from the Matt Rogers style deck. I don't know how many he's playing overall, but it does seem to be working well for him. He stopped another attack here. Ruby does have a fairly good aggressive hand. I say Ruby. Ruby is Jake's username on here. Jake does have a pretty good aggressive hand on here. So he might want to just weather some damage and then come in. He could potentially do pitch, plunder run, Kadachi, red leg tap, follow up with an E-strike. That's a pretty strong turn. So I think there's a very good chance that we're going to see him going for an aggressive turn here, which is often how you want to play this matchup. You know, when you're the Dorinthia player or you're the Katsu player and you're playing into Dash, it often ends up being quite aggressive. Now, there is an alternate strategy where you go for more setup instead and try to get into a position where you can put something together that just really can't defend against very well. But I don't think that's what we're seeing from Jake here. I don't believe that we've seen any energy potions or cards like that. So then it's going to be on Reezy's side. We see the pistol shot, induction chamber used for the go again. Instead of continuing with the pistols, though, he's then going to play the command and conquer from hand just to threaten 6 damage. And I think probably this is not something that's good to block with. He doesn't want to block with his E-strike. His other cards here block for 2, and he doesn't have an arsenal card that's threatened. So honestly, I would just take 6, but it is painful. And at least thus far, Jake has not been successful in creating a aggressive breakthrough that he would like to see in order to put himself in a good spot. It's possible he could also block with one of his leg taps for 2, and then he could do Kadachi, Command and Conquer 7, threatening Mask, which is by no means a bad turn. But I think under the circumstances, probably he would eat it so that he can go for the more aggressive Kadachi leg tap, threatening Mask, and then if that's blocked, he can do either CNC 7 or CNC draw. And if it's not blocked, he can potentially discard his Enlightened Strike to Katsu's ability, get a Rising Knee, and I don't know. I think maybe you just keep the E-Strike there rather than the Rising Knee because he wouldn't have the energy to play the leg tap, but it would give him an Arsenal card. Oh, man. Wow, really unexpected for me there. He goes for a double block, so he's not going to be quite as aggressive this turn, and unfortunately, he's going to get shut down easily by that defense reaction in Arsenal. Which has sort of been the story of this early game. Those defense reactions have been giving him a lot of trouble. Now, this is interesting. We do see High Octane in hand. That's an aggressive card to put into your deck here against a Ninja player, but that's okay. So Kadachi, he takes the 2 damage, and it's going to be followed up by the leg tap for 4. So Harmonized Kadachi here. Once per turn action, 1 energy swing. Oh, he doesn't play the leg tap. That's so interesting. So I think he's trying to set up an even more aggressive turn, but he decided to take basically a turn kind of off of the aggression before doing that. He sees some of the attack reactions that could really help him, though. In fact, he has a really good hand, except that he doesn't have the energy that he wants, because he can play leg tap into Rising Knee Thrust natural combo with attack reactions to threaten stuff. I think that he's got to take this opportunity, but he's going to face the powerful High Octane combo here. to get extra action points and probably a barrage of pistol shots. Double high octane. Wow. Double high octane. Now, luckily, there is no tome to really fuel that further, but it's going to be a lot of pistol shots this turn. I think the best option for Jake is going to be to just take them and try to reverse the momentum after this, but it's a tough situation. It's unfortunate. If he had gone for one of his more aggressive plays that he might have made, he would have been able to exert more pressure on the hand, but it's possible that seeing this powerful high octane combo, Reezy would have just decided to take the damage himself. So high octane, one cost action. Whenever you boost a card this turn, gain one action point. You also draw a card when you play it, and it does have go again. So we're going to see a double high octane here, which means that when he plays this high speed impact and boosts, this is going to be... Oh, and we see a block here. Okay, that's fine. It's a single block. He can actually afford... he can kind of afford to do that. Oh, he has the Ancestral Empowerment. Yeah, he's fine. I think that's basically all he can block with this turn and still keep his aggression up, though. It's going to be interesting. I personally think that if I'm Jake, I'm just going to take a lot of damage this turn. I think that's what you got to do. But now there's 2 bonus action points, so there's 3 action points which are going to be able to be used to just fire off a barrage of pistol shots. However, I think that's fine. Probably we're going to see the Teklo Foundry Heart used here. Second high-speed impact. I would just eat this. So this second high-speed impact, it's 4 with Dominate, no boost being used. No block. Okay, goes down to 21. Dash landing some big hits here. Okay, so he's going to spend 1, shoot the pistol. Now he'll probably use... Okay, he's just goes for another pistol shot instead of a Teklo Foundry Heart activation. Don't block this, Jake. You better not block this. It looks like he's wavering. Do not block this, bro. Don't do it. Don't do it. He's not watching the stream, or at least I hope he's not watching the stream, but you've got to maintain your aggression. Oh, okay. He's counting. I would not have blocked that. I would have kept the aggression up, but he's... ends up deciding to block. Okay, so this turn he can do his leg tap into the Rising Knee Thrust, and he does have the Ancestral Empowerment here. But I really would have liked to see him keep that Razor Reflex, because now if Reezy lets this hit, he can Jake will be able to use his Katsu trigger in order to get the last stage of his combo. But I think he won't be able to play it because it costs 1 since he doesn't have a pitch. However, oh ho ho! Now we see Ancestral. So block for 4. Ancestral Empowerment played. Target ninja attack action card gains +1, and you draw a card. But the problem is, I don't think he's going to have the energy to do the thing that he would most want to do here, which would be to get into the next stage of his combo. Yeah, though he doesn't draw a card that would activate it anyway, so that's fine. So then he can do a... Probably you want to follow this up with the Rising Knee, because that's going to get the combo enabled. So Rising Knee Thrust here. If Leg Tap was the last attack this combat chain, it gets +2 and Go Again. So that's a 5 with Go Again. Yeah, Rising Knee for 5 with Go Again. But because he only has 1 card, he isn't threatening the last step of that combo, and it is going to make it easier for Reezy. I think that Razor here would be pretty good. Also, if nothing else, he would have been able to play it to... if nothing else, he would have been able to pitch it to do another attack to threaten the mask, but wasn't to be. He did land some solid damage there. I think he landed 6 damage that turn, but he's now going to face some aggression again. And he does have a leg tap in arsenal now, and he has a Rising Knee in hand, so we're going to be able to see at least some of the combo coming in here. Fate Foreseen still in arsenal. We're going to just see another barrage of pistol shots. This is the classic mech game plan here. You know, with these 2 induction chambers, he can fire his pistol for 6 damage every turn, which really does add up if you just eat the damage as Jake has been doing here. Probably he'll play this 0 to 60 from hand instead of doing last pistol shot. And he boosts. Hitting a zipper hit, nice. A little risky to boost. I don't know what his rig is for this matchup. He might have some still items left, which are dangerous to boost because you don't want to lose your rig, but he seems to be doing well without a full rig setup, so maybe that's fine. The other question would be how many of those defense reactions is he playing, because boosting and hitting one of your defense reactions is quite bad, as not only does your boost fail, but you also lose some of the core stuff for your defensive game plan. I think I would block with Magenshi here. No block. Taking 4, and then pistol shot for 2. This has been a very interesting game. Jake has not been able to land the aggressive plays that he wants against Reezy's small defense reactions to just get exactly what he needs. And interesting hand there. Not a great defensive hand, as he does have an item there. But he's going to be okay because he has that defense reaction in Arsenal. And this turn is going to be aggressive, but not that aggressive, I feel. I think what we're likely going to see here is leg tap into another leg tap into Rising Knee, maybe? First leg tap coming in for 3 with Go Again. And then I do think we're going to see the second leg tap coming in for 4 with Go Again. And if either of these hits, he will be able to use a Katsu trigger. That one's going to be blocked. Passes the reactions. Leg tap for 4 with Go Again this time. 2 cards in hand. But once again, his follow-up, the Blackout Kick, does cost 1. He doesn't have the energy that he needs because he pitched... I don't know why he pitched the Magenshi instead of the Flick Flack here. Oh, because if he pitched the Flick Flack, he wouldn't be able to find the combo. That's what it is, yeah. A little awkward there in terms of what cards he ended up with. He didn't have a blue pitch that wouldn't mess with his ability to do the full combo in other ways, so it's probably just going to be the leg tap into Rising Knee aspect of the combo. If this leg tap doesn't get blocked, he will be able to maybe get rid of a Rising Knee to find a red Rising Knee and then come in for 5, which will be annoying to block. And if that one hits, he will get the... Or no, he won't get the card draw from Mask, though. Yeah, he would have to pitch. He would have to pitch first. That's fine, though, because it's going to get blocked. Fate Foreseen coming out of the arsenal, shutting that one down. 3 cards left in hand there for Reezy. Reezy's in a strong position here, I feel. It ends up being a blue... It ends up being a blue Rising Knee, so it's 3 with Go Again. That's really just not that threatening in this situation, though, because there aren't any resources up. So he's not threatening a card draw because his previous things got blocked. He doesn't have the resources. It's tough. Yeah, I think Reezy just eats the damage here. Katsu trigger, getting rid of the Flick Flack that he has in hand. 3 damage does get in. Does he have a 0 cost? Yeah, so he's going to go for a red Fluster Fist here. So this card is sometimes played because it comes in for 4 and costs 0. So he doesn't have the combo, but he is able to play it for another 4 damage. So he finds some extra damage with his Katsu trigger, which is nice. But his opponent is far ahead here at 17-9, and pretty soon Jake is going to have to start blocking heavily. We'll see if he can perhaps... I don't know, though. His hand is not that great for aggression. This is not looking good for Jake. Plasma Purifier actually getting pitched here. Just 1 energy, but that's all that he needs to fire off a pistol shot for 2. Gets the Purifier out of his hand. Induction Chamber being used. Probably he's going to load the... Oh, no. 1 resource up. He isn't going to be going for the Command and Conquer this turn. He's probably just going to go for another pistol shot and maybe Arsenal the Command and Conquer. Jake's really got to start thinking about what he wants to do. You know, probably he wants to try and get that... Plunder run into Arsenal. He does block. He's going to be left with an unfortunate hand here. I think he blocks with another card, and then his This turn is going to be so bad, though. Jake's in a tough spot. I think he's going to try to set up his plunder run and arsenal, play a little more defensively this turn, and hopefully get into a position where he can throw something strong out in the future, but he's just not in a great place. So this turn, he's going to be able to play the Whelming from hand. Probably just going to play that, or no, he's going to pitch it to Kadachi for 1. 1 lands, and then there's the plunder run into the arsenal. Okay. He's in a bad position. If he can avoid having to block heavily for 1 more turn, he can unleash a relatively strong attack turn. He has the cards that he needs, but it might be 1 turn too late here. I think he's going to have to be blocking in order to stay alive against... I think he's going to have to be blocking to stay alive against Reezy's pressure, especially because there is that copy of... there is going to be that copy of Command and Conquer in the arsenal. And 2 more defense reactions for Reezy. He's really gone big on the small defense reactions. The 0 cost reds, they're better at defense than normal cards, but they aren't the big defense reactions like Unmovable, which are often seen in this sort of build. And as a result of that, he has been able to stave off Ninja's pressure thus far. We're going to see whether or not it will continue, but right now, if I'm Reezy, I'm feeling pretty good about this game. Pistol coming in for 2. Pistol coming in for 2. No block. Takes 2. Reaction used. Pitches, and here comes the Command and Conquer. That's going to have to be a double block, I feel. Oh, actually, he could block with 1 card that blocks for 3, Mask and Tunic, and that would block 6. He really, really, really doesn't want to lose his arsenal. Yeah, I think I might do the equipment block here. I don't know. Maybe you block with both Ancestrals. Really bad situation, quite frankly. Yeah, he's doing it. Mask, Tunic, and 1 Ancestral. He is blocking desperately to try to get tempo back, and we'll see if he can do it. This might be Jake's last hurrah. If he can't get a big block out of Reezy this turn, I think he'll be losing this game. Whelming Gust Wave coming in for 7 with Go Again, buffed by the Plunder Run. If it hits, it will be a card drawn. But I think that I don't think it's going to be enough. I think Reezy has ample defense for this. He could block with 2 cards plus his Teklo Foundry Heart, and then the Ancestral Empowerment isn't enough to get over. And then on top of that, he would still have the defense reaction, and he can just keep drawing out the game. That's exactly what we see here. 2 cards plus the Teklo Foundry Heart, block an 8. That 1 buff is not enough. Kadachi for 1 does land. Ancestral Empowerment arsenaled, but now I do feel Ruby is in deep, deep trouble. Jake, I'm sorry. Here come the Kadachi hits. Pistol Shot, blocked for 2 by a Flick Flack. 0 to 60 with the boost. Boost lands. That's going to be a 0 to 60 for 5 because of the... Or for 4, but it's blocked for 5. Pistol Shot not blocked. Alright, this could be the last hurrah. E-Strike 5, draw, hoping to draw a 0-cost card that he can play. He's going to use his Snapdragon Scalers here probably to give this Go Again. Throw out just that little bit of extra damage, but it's not going to be enough. It's a tough situation here for our man, Jake. Wow. All he does with the go again is come in with 2 Kadachi swings. I guess there's not much else he can do. And with that, I think this game is going to draw to a close. I do not think Ruby is going to be able to survive this next turn from Jake. We will see. It's not looking good. High octane coming out here. It's looking bad. Looking bad for Jake. Zipper hit coming in here. Zipper hit for 4 with boost. Boost lands. Sorry about that. Got a problem here. There we go. Sorry if the stream lagged a bit there, guys. Had a little issue. Zipper hit blocked for 5. Pistol shot for 2. Gets blocked. Pitch, command, and conquer, and that is the game. Oof. Rough one for Jake. Jake was actually the champ of the previous season, playing Guardian. Switched to Katsu for this season, but ran into trouble. You know, often this is considered to be a very favored matchup for Ninja. You know, I've seen a lot of Dash players complaining about the matchup against aggro Ninja, but sending in all those small defense reactions might have been just the key that Reezy needed in order to take this game. Springboard, Fate for Scene, Springboard, Sink, so that's 4. Another Fate, that's 5. And I think he had an Arsenal defense reaction, another Sink as well. So he had at least 6 small defense reactions in his deck this game. And they really paid off to deter, you know, Jake was posing some tough questions early on, or at least questions that a lot of decks would find difficult. You know, those copies of Snatch coming in for 4, for instance, often quite awkward because you have to use equipment or 2 cards to block them and prevent that draw effect. But with all those defense reactions coming in for 4, Reezy just had what he needed in order to stop that early pressure, and his barrage of pistol shots really just wore Ruby down. Tough situation there for Jake. Reezy wins the game, and he will be moving on to the semifinals. This was the round of 8. We'll be moving on to the round of 4. Interesting situation there, and congratulations to Reezy for the win. All right, guys, that's going to do it for this stream. TowerNumberNine is my strategy blog. I have some recent content on there. I wrote a tournament report for the last skirmish of the season, as well as an article about how to, on how to think about luck in games. And both of those have been pretty interesting in my view. If you want to check that out, TowerNumber9.com says there on the bottom right corner of the screen. More Flesh and Blood content to come, maybe also some Star Wars Legion streams in the future, as the ladder tournament for that event is for that game is going on as well, but no guarantees. We will have to see how things go. Until next time, guys, TowerNumber9 signing off. Thank you for watching.